Delegates of the Oregon Fair Trade Coalition and Cross-Border Labor Organizing Committee wanted to see firsthand the effects of NAFTA on Mexico. We wanted to hear from both rural and industrial workers how they thought NAFTA might be improved by renegotiation. In March 2009, we went to the rural state of Tlaxcala, to Mexico City, and to the Maquiladora area of Ciudad Juarez. Before leaving, we interviewed workers at the Freightliner truck factory in Portland who are losing their jobs to Mexico. Would you like to say your name and how long you've worked here?
Bruce Lathan, 32 years. And my job is gone and I'm screwed because of NAFTA. It's both parties, Democrat and Republican, sold us out. Right. And look at the mess we in.
My name is Tracy Borgen, work for Freightliner Truck Company, 1005 Union, aerospace and machinists. Our jobs are leaving for Mexico.
How long have you worked here at the Freightliner factory?
Off and on for 30 years.
30 years. And how does that NAFTA work?
It takes our jobs and moves them to substandard countries where they have to pay about a third of the wages, if that much.
Do you think that the Freightliner workers in Mexico are getting a good deal?
No, nobody's getting a good deal.
My name's Randy, been here like Tracy for 32 years. Be losing my job, outsourcing it to Mexico, where they can pay them guys $20 a day instead of the $20 an hour we make. Why pay these guys 20, 25 bucks an hour to do a job that you can go pick someone up on the street and pay them 20 bucks for the whole day?
Bueno, estas son como partes así muy significativas. Mayor desempleo, se incremento de la pobreza, la pérdida del poder adquisitivo de los trabajadores, estas nuevas figuras de contratación. Esa es la promesa del ingreso, o es el costo de nuestro ingreso al primer mundo, como nos lo vendió Salinas.
We believe that the free trade agreements function like transnational blackmail against workers, because they say to you, to the US and Canadian workers, that if you don't accept to less rights, less salaries, your jobs could come to Mexico or to other countries, Honduras, Guatemala, whatever, if you don't accept to reduce your conquers and so on. And they tell us, to the Mexican workers, South workers, that if we don't accept to maintain our miserable salaries, the bad conditions, no rights, the jobs never will come. So they introduced the competition between North and South workers. And in this competition, only win the companies. Now the competition is worst, because the competition is South to South. Now, of course, the free trade policy means that the workers in the South, Mexico, Honduras, China, or wherever, or India, the issue is who could work more for less, right? So that's one of the ways the free trade works out. And we believe since the beginning that the only way, more effective way to fight back, to break this logic against working people, was to put in together the working people from the different countries, north, south, south to south, breaking the blackmail.
La dificultad que implica sembrar. Tenemos ¿cuántas compañeras son aquí, Víctor? 10 personas las que están con amenazas de que les quiten sus terrenos. ¿Hay una compañera? aquí, que está su casa en depósito porque dio como garantía los documentos de su casa. Ella les va a poder platicar para obtener un crédito para fertilizante o un programa agropecuario. No sé, compañero, que usted lo explique.
We have a compañera here who put up her house as collateral so that she could get fertilizer to plant her land, and now the bank wants to take her house away from her.
Sí, a nosotros, así como los compañeros dijeron, nos invitaron a que nos iban a apoyar con fertilizante para nuestro campo, pero en eso el representante supuestamente que nos estaba invitando me pidió la garantía sea el título de lo que es de mi casa.
And so a state representative came along and said, we're going to help you out with fertilizer for your land. But then he said, well, we're going to take the title of your house in exchange and as a guarantee for that fertilizer.
Sí, sí, en ese entonces la verdad todavía no pertenecíamos al grupo de la CENU y no tiene mucho que vinieron ya, pues nos mandaron que el jurídico y todo, y ya ahora sí con amenazas que si no pagábamos, pues más que nada yo porque tengo mi propiedad ahí, que si no pagaba yo pues estoy ahora sí para que pierda yo mi casa.
And when this happened, I wasn't a member of CNUC, but since I joined CNUC, there have been, the state has gone through a series of legal maneuvers to try and take my home away from me. I still have the home, but they're still in the process of trying to take it away from me.
Eso es un ejemplo del despojo, ¿no?
This is an example of displacement from land, displacement or dislocation.
Pero esto le pasa constantemente en el estado de Tlaxcala por diferentes formas, por querer producir. Gracias.
And so this happens in different forms throughout the state of Tlaxcala. This is what we talked about earlier in the day about forcing people off their lands, taking away their means of production, and forcing them into the free labor market so that they can offer their labor, well, in this case for maquiladoras, or for immigrant labor into the United States.
In our case, the first sector is agriculture. It's impossible to compete with the dumping. It's impossible to compete with the illegal, in terms of international rights, subsidies which the U.S. government consider into the farm bill. It's impossible. But it's prohibited by the WTO. It's prohibited by the international rights. It's prohibited by the human rights. And it means it's not accepted. Wow. But the other question, it's very important, is some sectors linked with the public health. No? Sectors linked with the environment. And of course, labor rights. Then our position now is to review, welcome the Obama's proposal, but not only the Obama's proposal, much more than the Obama's proposal. It's impossible to resolve environmental and labor rights if you don't touch other part of the NAFTA.
So our delegation returned with a strong sense that NAFTA is bad for workers on both sides of the border. NAFTA has brought increases in poverty, lower purchasing power, increased unemployment, competition between workers north and south, and a loss of land, all leading to rural workers moving to cities, maquiladoras, and across borders to find work. Mexican workers told us that for workers north and south to regain jobs and communities, much more of NAFTA has to be renegotiated than merely environmental and labor rights side agreements.